guys, my name is Sasha. Welcome back to my channel, and this is my June wrap up. So for the month of June, I read only pink books, which I did for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Also dyed my hair pink. It's faded now. Not sure if I really recommend Manic Panic because it just didn't really last as long as I wanted to, and I've only washed my hair like twice or three times, but it's still like, and I know I did a really bad job because it's like super patchy, but anyway, I read 9 books, and 4 of those were ebooks, 5 of them were physical books. I read 3 5 stars, 3 4 stars, 2 3 stars, and 1 I gave no rating because it was pretty much just smut. And yeah, so let's get into it. So the first book I read was The Meet Cute Club by Jack Harbin. This is the one I gave 4 stars. It is a very cute book. I really enjoyed it. It was about this one guy, I can't remember his name, and he is the creator of this book club where they read romance, and he likes to buy all the people in the group like the book of the month that they're reading. And so when he's going to the bookshop to buy these books, he meets Rex. See, I remember Rex because I liked Rex. He meets Rex, who just got a job at this bookstore, and he kind of like teases him about his choice in books. Anyway, Rex comes along to the book club, much to the other guy's surprise, and kind of like the story from there, and I really enjoyed it. It was very cutesy, and I can't wait to read anything else that Jack Harbin writes. I know he is a very smutty writer, but that one wasn't very smutty, but it was very cute, and I really do recommend. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get it on that. Otherwise, get it out on Kindle, because like this cover is cute and the inside story is cute, and it's just yes. The next book I read was The Secret Note by Lauren Rowe. This was the smutty book that I didn't give any ratings, about this girl who goes on a camping trip with her brother and their college friends, and she invites this Australian back to her tent because he's about to go home. And then this like 10 years later, and the Australian now is living in LA, and they meet up again. That's about it. And he kind of like the Australian kind of reminded me of like the Hemsworth boys. Like, that was okay for me, but it really wasn't anything to write home about. If you just want to get your rocks off, go read The Secret Note. If not, really not worth your time. The next book I picked up in June was The Chocolate Run by Dorothy Coomson. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. No, I only gave it 3. Because I really did not like the ending. Yeah. I feel, anyway. It's about this girl, well, lady. She's like almost 30, or she is 30. Anyway, Amber. And she's living in Leeds, or some place in the London area. The first chapter of the book is her kind of regretting getting into bed with her best friend's fiance's best friend, who actually is kind of like Amber's best friend. So Amber and Greg and the fiancés are like in this like friendship group. Amber and Greg like keep their like little relationship a secret from the others, and I actually really enjoyed the relationship between Amber and Greg. But something happened at the end of the book where, like, you know, like Amber and Greg have to break up and everything. Oh, I really don't want to spoil the book, but she has to cut off some she has to cut up some relationships and some friendships, and they just like the last like 50 pages was like the cut off, and then the rehashing, and then just like mending of everything, and I just didn't like that at all. I think that maybe she should not have stayed friends with that person, because she really was a bitch, and she was poisonous to Amber, and I really didn't like that aspect. But What I do like about this book is that Amber, the main character, is black and Greg is white, so it's a biracial romance. But Amber works in like the film festival area, and it was just like, it reminded me of You Don't Have to Say You Love Me. So it's like, it's chick lit, but I really enjoyed it, and I am keen to pick up whatever Dorothy Simpson writes. I found another one of her books at an op shop the other day, so I'm happy to pick that one up very soon. But yeah, that was the chocolate rum. And then I picked up the Mummy Bloggers by Holly Wainwright. This was another 3-star read for me. So this is a book that focuses on 3 different like influencers in the mummy blogging area on the internet. They're all based in Australia, and they all actually are kind of interconnected in a way. So like one of them is married to the other's ex-husband, and then one of them's sister-in-law is the other one, sort of thing. I enjoyed this. It's based in Australia. I thought that was really cool, and it was not how I expected it to turn out to be. So they're all 3 of them are nominated for this award, and they all try to one up the other to get this award. And you've got the one who's like the perfect mom, and she's got like the perfect kitchen and everything has to look perfect, but then like behind the scenes you see that she really like just uses her kids as like props in her Instagram photos. And then you've got one of the mums is she's a working mum, and she's like in her 40s, and she's got, her eldest is 6, so she's like also an older mum. And then like, so she's a working mum as well as her blog on the side. Her husband's actually the stay-at-home dad, and I liked that aspect of it. And then the third lady, she's like your homeschooling sort of mum, where like they live out on a farm and they like do all the natural sort of stuff. Those 3 ladies and them trying to win this award to like try to make their blogs bigger and better. And there's lots of lies involved, as I think you do become aware there are lots of like lying behind some of those perfect mum type bloggers Instagrams. But then you've also get like your hate mail too, and your like trolls. Anyway, I tried listening to this on audio, and then Scrib took it away from me for some weird reason, so I had to finish it in the physical copy. But yeah, I read this because it was pink for June. And then I reread Queens of Geek by Jen Wilde. This is about 2 girls, Charlie and Taylor, and how they're going to their first huge American Comic Con sort of convention. Charlie is a Asian Australian internet famous person, and her indie film has been awarded some stuff, so that's why she's at the convention. And her best friends are Taylor and Jamie. Taylor and Jamie. Charlie's going through like this breakup, which happened like 6 months ago, and the guy that she broke up with was like the other guy, was like her love interest in the movie. And so she's like trying to get away from like the fandom of like the fans always trying to get them back together, and then trying to move on with her life with another girl in this book. And then Taylor has Asperger's, and she's got social anxiety, and she really wants to meet her favorite author, and kind of like her relationship with Jamie in this book as well. One thing I really didn't like is that even though Charlie is a YouTuber, she was talking that like she doesn't have like, she's not the like one of the biggest, but then she has like 3 million subscribers, and I was like, that's pretty big. But yeah, I just feel like maybe Jen Wilde didn't really look into YouTubing like behind the scenes that much, kind of just threw it in there to make a character, which is fine. I know people do that, but it was kind of like annoying if you know YouTube. I'm saying like I'm an expert, I'm not, but I really like this. I really did connect with Taylor a lot because of her social anxiety. I know I used to be like that when I was younger, but I really adored it. And then I read Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, and I freaking love this book. This is a graphic novel focusing on these two boys and them just coming to terms that they love each other, and it was so cute. I loved it a lot, and I cannot wait to read the rest of this story between them. And yeah, and then I read Divergent by Veronica Roth. This was a sort of reread for me because I did read this back when I was a teenager, but I don't remember anything about it. So this focuses on this girl called Tris. It's a dystopian, so you've got 5 factions, and each faction like has their own sort of personality that make the world work. And Tris is an Ab-Nation, so she doesn't really care for the glitz and the glam, and it's all about like serving others. But when you're 16, you can choose to go to another faction, but like before you choose to go to the other faction, you like take this test to see if you are like, if she stays in like if she is part of Ab-Nation, or if she is part of Dauntless, or the other ones that no one cares about. You find out that Tris is actually Divergent, so she actually has 3 different things, like they're all like equal in her, and you're supposed to keep that secret because you like Divergent people can't be controlled. Anyway, really enjoyed this story. I think I really enjoy it a lot more now than I did then, but I cannot wait to pick up the sequel and see where it goes. Hopefully it was better than the movie, because I really didn't like the movie, but I really enjoyed Tris, and I really enjoyed 4. I really enjoyed it. And then I read my favorite book of the month, and that is Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy. This book blew my freaking mind. So I knew it was like a King Arthur retelling in space, right? What I didn't know is that everyone was going to be freaking queer, and it was amazing. So you got Ari, who is a reincarnation of King Arthur, and she was found when she was about 10 years old, I believe, or 7. She was found by these 2 ladies and their son, like lost in this like wreckage of a ship or whatever. They adopted her. Ari's now 17, and her older brother Kay and her are kind of like fugitives. Well, they're just trying not to be found by Mercer, which is like the big company of space, and they like basically own everything, because Ari is actually Quechan, and Quechans, you find out, are like descendants of Arabs. You've also got Merlin's perspective, and Merlin, last time he was awoken, he was in the 21st century, and so he's kind of our way into figuring out what people like alike, like from being from the 21st century into whatever century this is, the 24th or whatever. And so Merlin, every time Arthur gets reincarnated, Merlin actually gets younger, so he's a 17-year-old boy now instead of an old guy with a big beard. And yeah, so he likes to point out the different like knights in King Arthur's circle and Guinevere, and like he knows that Guinevere eventually betrays Arthur. But I really enjoyed this book because, so you got bisexual rep, and you've got trans rep, and you've got Asian American rep, and you've got, I believe, they didn't say where Lamb and their brother was from, but they just said black skinned, so I'm guessing we got black presentation in this. So Ari is actually based on Corey McCarthy's heritage, because Corey is actually yeah, so Corey identifies as an Irish Arab American, so, and they are also pan-demi-embi, so that's exciting. And Corey and Amy are actually together, and they wrote this book together, and I just thought that was so cool. I really enjoyed this book, and I think everyone should pick it up because it was just like, even if you don't know the King Arthur story, like I had an idea but not very well. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I cannot wait to pick up the second book. I've already downloaded it on Scribd, and yes, it was just so good. Pick it up. And then the last book I read in June was Pink Hair and Other Terrible Ideas by Andrea Pyros. This is a middle grade novel that focuses on Jacqueline, Josephine, and we find out that her mum has breast cancer, and she's kind of like trying to keep it quiet, and because she doesn't want people to know, because she's kind of like embarrassed about it. But then her twin brother shows up to school with pink hair because he wants to support his mum and the breast cancer foundation. And yeah, I feel like I would have enjoyed this if I was younger. Like, I did enjoy it, and I kind of saw myself in Josephine a bit, where she's like didn't want to talk to some people and kind of like kept to herself because they are 12 or 13. There was a bit of miscommunication, but it wasn't focusing on love. Like, that's why I hate miscommunication and like love interest, but it's miscommunication between her and her best friend, but that's because she didn't want to tell her best friend why she couldn't do some things, because her mum was like going to hospital or other things like that. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. It was a nice, quick and easy read. I gave it 3 stars, and I thought it was the perfect book to pick up for this month because I dyed my hair pink. And yeah, I really liked the character growth in Josephine, and yeah, it was a really good read. I'm glad I picked it up. Now I am in the middle of 2 other books. I am in the middle of Lady Helen and the Dark Days Club, and I'm in the middle of The Bells. Unfortunately, I did not finish either of them before this month ended, which is really sad, but I'll finish them soon. But that is it for my June wrap up. What was your favorite book that you read in June? Let me know down below. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more from me. If you want to be my friend, you can add me on Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter. They're all at @SashReads, and I'll see you next time. Bye!